Greetings, peace to all. This is Shahid Muhammad, the Math Doctor. We welcome all our powerful, mighty students to this wonderful 8-week course on the fundamentals of algebra. We're hoping that all of you are ready, fired up, excited, full of exhilaration as we get our math on and get ready to learn the fundamentals of algebra. We must know that algebra is one of the most powerful courses, and it is a prerequisite for most of the higher future math courses that you will take, particularly getting you to go all the way up to calculus. So algebra is that gateway course that will prepare you and give you what you need to get to calculus. However, it's very, very important that we master certain fundamentals in our algebra course so that we can progress and move to the next level. So in this 8-week course, you and I will be embarking on some of the basic common algebra concepts, the skills that we need, and some of the targets that we see in a standard basic algebra course so that you all can progress and move to the next level. So I'm fired up. I hope that you all are. We're going to go ahead and begin to look at our first slide, our first foundation. Now, in all our math courses, the vocabulary is key. So we want to first lay our foundation of algebra down with some standard terms that we all need to know the meaning of and the definition of. I will also be providing some examples of each, because we don't want to just know definitions and not understand what they mean. Provide examples and see some examples. So the first thing we need to know in algebra was a creation of a Muslim brother in Africa named Al-Khwarizmi. He is credited for writing a paper called Algebra, Jabr, which later was translated into our standard common name for algebra. We also get the word algorithm from his name, Al-Khwarizmi. So know that this was a brother of color, one from Africa, that created and brought about this beautiful branch of mathematics called algebra. Now, algebra to me is the next step above arithmetic, because in arithmetic, everything was known. You had numbers, you either added them, subtracted them, or multiplied them. You did decimals, you did fractions, you did proportions, you did statistics, you did probability, but in all the problems that you had, all the numbers were known. When we get into algebra, and some of you take pre-algebra, I know you're saying, well, I had pre-algebra, but that's good. Algebra or pre-algebra, we know we get into what are called unknowns, because algebra is that branch of mathematics that helps us to solve problems. So now we move from arithmetic and we turn up, watch out now, turn up into algebra. Then we get from the known to the unknown. So when we encounter problems in the universe, problems in real life where we have unknowns, for instance, John has a certain amount of money in the bank. If he deposits $20, subtracts $5, and adds $500, he now has $2,500. What was his original bank balance? See, we're trying to work backwards to find an unknown. Algebra is the science of mathematics, or the branch of mathematics that allows us to solve for unknowns. So you all are in for a treat. And if you become powerful in algebra, all the doors of higher mathematics will be open for you. And I'm sure you all want doors open so that you can progress, graduate, and have the mathematical foundation needed to go anywhere you want and in any profession you desire. So let's look at some of our basic terms. When we move from arithmetic to algebra, we move from what is called a numeric expression a numerical expression, to an algebraic expression. What is a numerical expression? A numerical expression is an arithmetic expression that can be simplified using operations. The stuff you were doing from kindergarten all the way to about 5th or 6th grade. You were dealing with numerical expressions, 5 plus 5, 10 divided by 8, 2 to the third power plus 7. These are numerical expressions because they're expressions with only numbers and operations. Only numbers and operations. Now, when we move, graduate, ascend, elevate into this beautiful thing called algebra, now we get into what are called algebraic expressions. What are our algebraic expressions? These are expressions composed of variables and numbers and operations. Because variables are what? Variables are letters or symbols that represent or stand for an unknown number. Let's look at something. If we have the variable y, y can take the place or does take the place of an unknown number. Back in kindergarten, 1st grade, you were doing those worksheets where you had a box plus 5 equals 10, triangle minus 3 equals 7, whatever. Those symbols actually were variables. So even in kindergarten, in 1st grade and 2nd grade, you were doing algebra. They just didn't call it that. So now you know you were advanced back then. You were doing some algebra, okay? So if I have this equation right here, y plus 5 equals 9, y is a variable because it's taking the place of a number. It's not the y that's in the alphabet letter. It is a variable because it's taking the place of some number. You could also have a symbol. I could have $sign minus 2 equals 4. You got to bear with me with that writing. We're doing the best we can with the technology. Writing is a little difficult with the mouse as opposed to a pencil, all right? Even though my handwriting is bad, if you know the math doctor. Anyway, so this dollar minus 2 equals 4. The $sign is a variable. So variables can be any of the 26 letters, but they also can be some of the symbols that you have on your phone, cell phones, I know all of y'all got one, or on your laptop or desktop computer keyboard. So the pound system symbol, the @ symbol, the exclamation point, the asterisk, all these can be symbols, or all these are symbols that can take the place of a number, therefore making them variables, okay? So let's erase that out. Go back to our PowerPoint. Here we are. So a numerical expression, just a quick review, is an expression that has only numbers and operations. An algebraic expression is an expression that has variables, numbers, and operations. And a variable can be a letter or a symbol that takes the place of a number. Remember, algebra, you're solving for the what? I heard you loud and clear. You're awesome. We're solving for the unknown. Absolutely. Good Lord, you guys are smart. Now, there's also something called a coefficient. Does anybody that's watching this video know what the prefix co stands for? What does it mean? I heard someone say with, together. You're absolutely correct. You have cooperate. You have collaborate. That means do something with, operate with. So if something's a coefficient, it is a number with a variable. A number going with a variable is a coefficient, okay? So these are numbers that are in front of variables. We never put the variable in front of the number in algebra. So don't tell me I'm going to find B2 or C3. That's not algebraic language. It's 3C to B. We always put the number in front of the variable, okay? And our last vocabulary word, as we deal with this exegesis on the basics of algebra, is a constant. What are things that are constant? Constant means what? Absolutely. It means to not change. So if I have a constant rate or a constant speed, that means this is a speed that's not changing. So constants in our algebraic expressions is the term without a variable, because the number is not going to change. 5 is always going to be 5. 8 is always going to be 8. So if it doesn't have a variable, that number cannot change. It is what it is. But when you put a variable with it and make it a coefficient, now it can change based on what it is. So if I have 3x, I can make the x 5. Now I have 15. But if I make the x 2, now I have 6. But if I just have the number 3, that's all I have is the number 3. So a constant is a number without a variable. Okay? Now let's look at some things. We want you to try to solve this, and then I'll come in and give you the answer. So it reads, which one of these is an algebraic expression? Go ahead and make your choice, and I will wait to hear from you. You can send your thoughts through the video and I will read them. No, I'm just playing. I don't have that power. All right. Do you think it is A that is an algebraic expression? Well, if you look, it has no variables. So it could not be A. A is a numerical expression. What about B? 12 plus 78 minus 100. Is that an algebraic expression? Well, once again, it does not have variables. So B would not be an algebraic expression. What about D? I'm skipping for a minute. You can see why. What about D? D, again, only has fractions and the number 4. It's not an algebraic expression. So if you said C, and I know you did because you're a smart student out there, if you said C, then you are correct, because C has variables and numbers and operations. C is an algebraic expression. Next question. In the following expression, I want you to help me to identify the coefficients, the constant term, and the variables. If the expression is simplified, there will always only be one constant term. One constant term. There can be many coefficients, but there'll always just be one constant term. So let's see. Let's start with the coefficients. 2 is in front of the term xy. So 2 would be one of the coefficients in this expression. Negative 56 is a number in front of the variable x. Therefore, it is a coefficient. But if you look at 12.5, it has no variables with it at all, making it the constant term in the algebraic expression. So 12.5 is the constant. 2 and negative 56 are coefficients. And my variables, of course, you already knew, are x and y. So in any algebraic expression, you should be able to give the math doctor or any teacher or anyone, your parents, you should be able to give them the variables, the coefficients, and the constant term. All right? I'm sure you did a wonderful job with this because you are a math doctor within yourself. Let's go to the next question. Well, the next skill, and the primary skill that we're going to focus on in week 1 of our Fundamentals of Algebra course, we are going to deal with this powerful word called translation. Translation. If I say to you, muy bien, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo se llama? You might look at me like I'm crazy if you don't speak Spanish. But if you speak Spanish, you'll know that I said, very good. How are you? What is your name? So to be able to translate from one language to the other means you have to know the vocabulary and you have to be able to speak both languages. So you have people that are translators. They speak multiple language and they can go from one language and translate it into the other. Do you know, students? Mi estudiantes, for those habla español, meaning speak Spanish. Awesome. Do you know that translators are paid to translate languages? Well, do you know that mathematics is one of the highest forms of language? It is considered a universal language because in China, 5 plus 5 is 10. In Russia, 5 plus 5 is 10. In Africa, 5 plus 5 is 10. So when you speak the mathematic language, you are speaking a universal language that transcends all culture and other languages. Now, mathematics is a language within itself. So guess what I'm going to do for you on this video? You, after watching this video, are going to be bilingual. Some of you already speak 2 languages, so you're going to be trilingual. Some of you might speak 3 languages already. After this video, you're going to be quadlingual, if there's such a thing. It means you're going to be able to speak 4 languages. All right. So a translation is key to solving algebraic word problems or any word problems. Now, there's another course that the math doctor is teaching through Power One on word problems made easy. And we deal with different word problems in different types. Do you know that if you master how to translate math into words and words into math, you will be good and solid with solving word problems? Oh yeah, I know you don't believe me, but it will happen. So we're going to learn how to translate from the English into math and math into English. You are going to be a translator after watching this video. I know you didn't know you were going to be that powerful. Now, to translate is a key skill in algebra, and it's a key skill, as I said, in solving word problems. The first thing we have to do to be able to be a good translator in any language, but in this case, mathematic language, is we have to know the vocabulary. What words in the English language mean certain mathematical operations? That's what I'm about to show you. If you can match the word in English with this mathematical correspondence in mathematics and in the language of math, then you will be able to solve word problems better, and you'll be able to write mathematical sentences in both English and math. Now, what are the common terms in vocabulary that represents a mathematical operation in the world of arithmetic? Because when you get these word problems, family, you have to know, hey, this means add, this means subtract, this means multiply or divide. The better you're able to do that, the better you'll be able to translate and solve word problems. So let's look at some common words in the real world that mean addition. Because when you become a doctor, a scientist, an engineer, a computer programmer, it might not always say add. It might say other words or verbiage that mean certain operations. So let's start with addition. We all know add, of course, means add. That's self-explanatory. Added to, of course, means add. But look at this word sum. Whenever you hear this word sum, I want you to think of this. When you hear the word sum, I want you to think of parentheses and then in the middle, a plus sign. Okay? Sum means that. Whenever you hear the word sum, I want you to think of parentheses plus. That's my little dance. Parentheses plus. Can you do that for me? I'm watching and hearing. Parentheses plus. So if I say sum, you will do the parentheses plus dance. So you have to write a parentheses when you hear the word sum to translate it into math, and you must put the plus sign. So if I were to say, give you an example, the sum of a number y and 3, this is how I would write it. Parentheses and plus. That's automatic. Because what did the math doctor just say? Whenever you hear the word sum, S-U-M, you say parentheses plus. That's your dance, all right? The parentheses plus dance when you hear the word sum. So I said the sum of a number X, I think I did, I got caught up in the dance, and 3. This reads the sum, parentheses plus, of a number X and 3. So you have to have parentheses when you hear the word sum, okay? And then the and is the plus sign, the sum of a number X and 3. We don't say the sum of a number X plus 3 because it's redundant. If you say sum, you're already saying what? Parentheses plus. So you don't say plus when you get to the plus sign, you say and, because you're telling the reader what two things are being summed up or added, a number X and 3. So that's special for the word sum, okay? Now, going back, what else means add? Total means add. So if it says the total weight on the bridge, the total number of cars, the total profit, all that means add. Another word that means add in algebra is altogether. All right. How many were there all together? That means add it up. The word plus, you know that from kindergarten, first grade, that means add. Plus means plus, add. More than, that doesn't mean the inequality symbol more than. No, more than means add. So if I say she makes $50 more than Jane, then that means whatever Jane makes, we would add 50. Jane plus 50. 50 more than Jane. That's what more than means. It means to add. He weighs 100 pounds, good Lord, more than me. That means I'm adding 100 pounds to my weight. Imagine if you thought it meant multiply. That person would be bigger than a doggone dinosaur if they existed. So more than doesn't mean times. It means add. Another word that means more than is increased by. So if the salary was increased by 10, that means 10 was added to the salary. So in a few minutes, we're going to be using these words to do some translations. And you all are going to be bilingual, meaning you're going to be able to speak 2 languages, English and math. You're going to be powerful. Now, subtraction is a very powerful operation, and it matters the order in which you put things in. Add doesn't matter. 7 plus 8 is 8 plus 7. 2 plus 3 is 3 plus 2. But when it comes to subtract, you all out there know 7 minus 5 is not the same as 5 minus 7. So it matters who's on the left of the minus sign and who's on the right. 7 minus 5 means I have 7. I'm removing 5. I have 2 left. But 5 minus 7 means I have only 5. You're asking me for 7. What up with you? I can't do that. I'm too short. Not the rapper, but just too short as a -2. Okay? Now, so in subtract, it matters the order. What words mean subtract? Subtracted from. You already know that. But look at this word difference. Difference has the same power as the word sum with addition. With difference, whenever you hear difference, I want you to do this dance. Parentheses minus, parentheses minus, parentheses minus, parentheses minus. Got it? Whenever you hear the word difference, you must put a parentheses and then a minus sign in the middle. Let's look at that. The word difference. So let's say I say the difference of a number B and 8. The difference of a number B and 8. That means I will have a parentheses, do the parentheses minus dance, and then I'll have a minus sign. Then I put who's on the left of the minus sign, which is a number B. And who's on the right is the number 9. So when you see this, you would read this in mathematics, or I'm sorry, in English, as the difference, parentheses minus, of a number B and 9. So the minus sign reads and then 9. Do not, just like with the word sum, don't say the word minus when you read it. It's the difference of a number B and 9. So the minus sign says and, not minus, because it's redundant to say the difference of a number B minus 9. Difference already means what? Parentheses minus. So you don't have to say the minus sign, you just say and, because you're telling the reader what two things are being subtracted, a number B and 9. Okay? So for the word sum, what are you going to do? Parentheses plus. And now for the word difference, what are you going to do? Parentheses minus. Okay? They're special 2 words in our operations. Now, what else means subtract? Minus, of course, means subtract. And then the words less than. The words less than, my students, mi estudiantes, is very important because you have to do something different when you do hear the word less than. Let's look at it. Suppose I said the number 5 less than, not very good with writing these with this mouse, but hopefully you can see. 5 less than, let's say X. Really, that would be written as a number X. We don't just say X because that's a letter in the alphabet. We say a number X when we translate it into words because we're letting the reader know that X stands for a number. So don't just say X, say a number X, a number B, a number C, okay? Now, to write this, some people will say it's 5 minus X. And if you were thinking that, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. When you have the words less than, you must switch the order of what's on the left side of the minus and what's on the right. When you hear 5 less than X, that means I have X, I'm taking off 5. I have X, I'm taking off 5. So that would look like this. X first, then the minus sign, then 5. Okay? This is 5 less than a number X. You must put the X on the left side and the 5 on the right. Okay? It's totally different than the regular minus or subtract words. This is the only words where you have to switch the two. Let's do another one. Suppose I said a number P less than 10. A number P less than 10. Try to write that at your desk. I'm going to wait for you to send me a signal. All right, good. A number P less than 10. So what would I write first? I wouldn't write P first. Remember, I switch. 10 goes first, then the minus sign, then a number P. So this reads a number P less than 10. You switch it. Whatever you say first goes to the right of the minus. Whatever you say last goes to the left. Beware of that, because a lot of people get bamboozled and hoodwinked on less than. Okay? But that's not going to happen to you because you're great. All right. Let's go back now. So we have difference, parentheses, minus. We have the word less than. We have to switch the order. And decrease by means subtract. So if I say the pressure was decreased by 50 pounds, that means whatever the pressure was went down 50 pounds, subtracted 50 pounds, okay? And take away, you've known since first grade, means subtract. So subtraction out of all four operations is the one you really have to be careful of, where you place things, and not to forget the parentheses with the word difference. Multiplication is only a few words. Multiply. Hello, we already knew that. Multiply by. But then you have the word product. Product is the answer you get after multiplying. But you don't need a parentheses with the word product. All you do is 3 times 5. The product of 5 and a number X would just be 5X. You just put them next to each other, okay? Times, of course, means times. Of means multiply as well. So like a fraction of. If I said 2/3 of the profit, that would mean 2/3 is going to be multiplied by my variable for profit, which but most likely should be a P. This reads 2/3 of the profit. You don't have to put a dot in between them. You don't have to put an X, because that'll confuse you anyway. All you have to do is put the number next to the variable. It automatically means times. Okay? Let's do another. Suppose I said the product of, suppose I said 1/5 of a number Y. 1/5 of a number Y. It would be 1/5 Y. No dot, no parentheses, no X. Just put the number in front of the variable and you have it. It's automatically multiplication. So of is another number or word, that means multiplication. Okay? Guys are doing excellent. Now, what else means multiplication? Product times fraction of. Then look at division. Only 2 little words that you have to remember. Divide, which already tells you divide, and quotient. Those of you that know your division algorithm, you already know quotient means the answer after you divide. Okay? It's the one above the little box. That's the quotient, your final answer after division. Now let's actually start doing some translations, okay? It says Jamal's weight increased by 100. You always want to use a variable that fits the word that you're speaking about. So we're not adding 100 to Jamal, we're adding 100 to his weight. That's why we have W plus 100. Okay? Increase by means add, and then we're adding 100. W plus 100. Another. 1/2 of, there's that of, meaning multiply, Michael Vick's salary minus 250. 1/2 of Michael Vick's salary is the 1/2 S. and then minus sign, and then 250. So 1/2 his salary minus 250. You all are doing excellent because I know you're with me. Next one. This one's a little more complicated, but you can handle it. 3 times Mary J. Blige's number of fans. Notice we don't have 3 times M because we're not multiplying 3 times Mary. We're multiplying it by her number of fans. Plus, so we have a plus sign. Twice her height. 2 times H. Twice her height. Twice, means multiplied by 2. Divided by. Now, for division, do not use the division sign. Use the fraction bar. When you enter algebra, my students, we get rid of the division dot line dot sign, and we use the fraction bar because you're going to be using that fraction bar all throughout your algebra exegesis, okay? So no more little division signs that you see on your calculator. We're using the fraction bar from here on out to represent division. So this reads 3 times Mary J. Blige's fans plus twice her height. That divided by 15. Okay? Look at this one. Twice the difference. Stop right there. Twice means 2. That's why we have a 2. Difference means what? Do the dance. Parentheses minus. So notice you see a parentheses and you see a minus sign because we said what word? Difference. Absolutely. So twice the difference between what? See, the between is telling you what 2 things are going to be subtracted. Between 1/3 the amount of chlorine, 1/3 C, then the minus sign because we said difference, and 8 times the amount of hydrogen. So this reads twice the 2, twice what? The difference between 1/3 chlorine and 8 times the amount of hydrogen. Okay? So we're reading it straight left to right, remembering that difference is going to give us a parentheses and a minus sign. Okay? Now, we want to back it up, but don't wobble with it. We just want to change. Now we're going to go from math to words. And a lot of my students don't like that because the words you have to write much longer than if you were doing the math. Math, you only got to write the symbols and letters and numbers. Now you have to write the whole English word out, but you can do it because you're powerful. Translate this one. All you do is read it left to right. 4. So we write what? The number 4. Hello, that wasn't difficult. 4 times, why is it times? Because it's next to the parentheses. When a number's next to a parentheses, family, it means times. So 4 times what? Parentheses minus is there. What word is that? Difference. Absolutely. So 4 times the difference. Now tell what? The difference of what? The difference of twice or 2 times a number X. 2 times the number X. This reads and. Remember, not minus. It reads and what? A number Y. So once again, this reads 4 times what? 2 times a number X and a number Y. Now we're outside the parentheses. Increase by, or you could write plus, or you could write more than. So in some of these problems, you might have a different answer than somebody else, but both of you will be correct because increase by, more than, plus all mean what? Add. Okay. So I put increase by, but you could put plus, added to whatever. What? A number B. Notice I didn't say 4 times the difference of 2x minus y. That's not the correct translation. It has to be 2 times a number x and a number y. Get in the habit of always saying a number, a number, a number. Okay? Let's try the second one. Do it with me. 5 times what? A number D plus Well, you can put added to, increased by. Now, notice you have the exponent 2. We don't say 2, we say square, okay? Something to the second power is translated as square. Something to the third power is translated as cube. So c to the second power is c squared. C to the third power is c cubed. So get in the habit of using those two words so you're mathematically correct. Cubed for third power, squared for second power. So this is 5 times the number d plus the square of a number w. That's how you read it. Or you could put a number w squared. So it's 2 ways to write w to the second power. A number w squared or the square of a number w. Any of those would be acceptable. Let's go to number 3. Now notice number 3 has a fraction bar over the v to the third. That means we're not reading it left to right this time. We're going to read it top down. So we're going to translate top down. What's our numerator? 7 times a number a increased by or plus a number p. Stop right there. That's the numerator only. 7 times a number a increased by a number p. Now, what does that bar say? What does the bar say? Divided by, excellent, divided by the cube of a number v. So 7 times a number a increased by a number p. Now the fraction bar divided by, that's how it reads, the cube of a number v. How many of you all got all 3 of those correct? Put your hand high in the air and wave to the side like you just don't care. Excellent, very good. All right, next one. Translate these. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it, and then we'll go over it. Time is up. All right. The first one we're going for, now these we're going again from words now to math, okay? 5 more than 3 times some number. Family, students, whenever it says some number, they're giving you freedom to use any of the 26 letters, okay? I just chose P in this example. You could have put B, A, C, E, R, G. It doesn't matter, okay? So when they say some number, they are leaving it up to you to choose the right variable. And you can use any variable you desire. So you can write it as 3P plus 5 or 5 plus 3P, okay? So it's 5 more than 3 times some number. 3P plus 5 or 5 plus 3P, because it doesn't matter with addition where you put it in which order because of what property. Somebody out there that got an A in algebra already. The commutative property. I heard you. Very good. Commutative property means A plus B is the same as B plus A. Awesome. Let's go to the second one. Half of a number less than. Stop right there. Don't get bamboozled. There's those words less than. What did the math doctor tell you have to do? Switch the order. So notice the 4 times the number G is to the left. Half a number is to the right, okay, of the minus sign. So you write 4G first, then minus 1/2 a number W, or half a number. I chose W. You again could choose any of the 26 letters, okay? Let's go to the next one. Twice the difference. Stop right there. Twice, you know, means what? Times 2. The difference. There's that word. Do the dance. Parentheses minus, parentheses minus. So twice the difference means 2 parentheses minus sign. What is being subtracted? A number. So that means you can use any variable. I chose Y, and 7. So it's Y minus 7. Come out of the parentheses, plus, there's the plus sign, 3 times a number X, okay? So twice the difference of a number and 7 would be 2, parentheses minus, y minus 7 plus 3 times the number x. So notice when it says the number x, I have to use x. But if it just says a number, I have 26 letters I can choose from. Okay? Doing an awesome job. Now we're going to do some multiple choice. Okay? Let's see how you do. Hannah and Tim collect stamps. Tim is bringing his stamps to Hannah's house so that they can compare. Hannah has 60 stamps. Which of the following expressions represents the total number of stamps that they will have if T represents the number of stamps Tim has? Okay, so Hannah and Tim are collecting stamps. Tim is bringing his stamps to Hannah's house. Hannah has 60 stamps. Which expression represents the total number that they would have all what? Together. We don't know how many Tim has. He has T number of stamps added to Hannah's 60. Which one represents 60 added to T? It, of course, as you already chose, I'm sure, was C. The correct answer is C. The amount that they have in total is Hannah's amount 60 plus Tim's amount T. What did you make? An algebraic expression. Word problems you have to be able to translate. Okay? Correct answer C. Next one. Hakim's Bakery sells donuts by the box. Some of y'all getting hungry. I see your tongue wagging right now, thinking about those wonderful donuts. There are D donuts in each box. We don't know how many. We're calling it D. D donuts in each box. Belima is going to buy 10 boxes for a class trip. So she's buying 10 boxes, each with D number of donuts. Which expression represents the total number of donuts that Belima is going to get for her field trip? So think about 10 boxes, every box has D number of donuts. You could add D 10 times or do it faster. What? Multiply 10 times D. So the total number of donuts she would have is 10 times D. Okay? Because think about it. Suppose there were 3 donuts in each box and she bought 10 boxes. She would have 10 times 30 donuts. 10 times 3 donuts, 30. But this time she has D number of donuts. So it's 10 times D. And I'm sure you knew already the answer is A. Okay? One last multiple choice. Jamal is trying to mail a package to his grandmother. He already has S stamps. S is a variable for the number of stamps on the package. Got it? So he has S number of stamps already on the box, the package. The postal worker tells him that he's going to have to double the number of stamps on the package. So if he has S on the package already, double now S. What would you get? 2S. Good Lord, you're smart and powerful. So if you double the number of stamps, double S, we get 2S. And then add 3 more. What would be the algebraic expression representing the number of stamps he has on the package? So he has 2S, because he doubled S, added 3 more. Wouldn't it be B? 2S plus 3. That would be the correct answer. You're doing awesome. All right, let's write these in algebraic expressions. 3 times a number B minus the sum of 7 in a number Y. 3 times a number B minus the sum of 7 in a number Y. Try to do that. So that would be 3 times a number B which would be 3b minus, oh, I got to go back. I knew I was going to forget it. Hold 1 second. 3 times the number b minus the sum of 7 in a number y. Minus the sum of 7 in a number y. What do we say sum is? Parentheses plus. Is that right? So minus the sum, parentheses plus, of 7. So you're going to put 7 here in a number y. That would be the correct mathematical translation of that problem. 3 times the number b minus the sum of 7 and a number y. Okay? Look at the next one. Doing great. You're doing great. Future math doctors. Number 2, the square of a number d. The square of a number d minus twice the difference of a number w and 9. I got to try to make sure I memorize it as I flip the screen. The square of a number d, right? Think of it with me, minus twice the difference of a number w and 9. The square of a number d minus twice the difference. So the square of a number d, that would be d, right, to the second power, minus twice 2 times the difference. What's difference? Do the dance. Parentheses minus. Twice the difference. Got to go back. Twice the difference of a number w and 9. Of a number w would go here, and 9. That's how that would read, family, okay? The square of a number d minus twice the difference of the number w and 9. Okay, let's go back to our next one. Number 3, 1/3 of a number h increased by the cube of a number p less than 12. Oh boy. Got to get that one ready. I'm gonna have to write that one down myself. 1/3 of a number h increased by the cube of a number p less than 12. Now remember that word less than means what? We have to switch, okay? So you have it internalized. Let's see what the answer would look like. So 1/3 of a number h will be 1/3 h, right? Then increase by the cube of a number p and less than 12. But remember, we switch it. So instead of the 12 going last, the 12 would be first. See? Then less than means minus. And then the cube of a number p. That one had a lot involved in that one. So what the 1/3 of a number h increased by the cube of a number p less than. See, that's why the p to the third is on the right of the minus sign, not the left. Okay? And let's go back. We're getting to our last slide. Here we go. We want to write this in word form. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to read it for you, and then you can write it so you can look at it later and just go back over it. Now we're going from the mathematics to the English. After this, we will be preparing for our next class the following week, but I will upload for you a homework assignment that I want you to do. Math is no good if you don't practice it. It's just like a musical instrument. You must constantly practice it over and over. Give yourself 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day of math exercise. Just like you exercise your muscles, you exercise your abs so they can look tight and right. You're going to have that six-pack. Well, we want you to have a six-pack in your mind of mathematics. So you have to practice it constantly. So I will be giving you a worksheet I want you to look out for under week 1 of your course outline on the course template, okay? So let's look at number 1. 2, we read as what? Twice. Very good. Parentheses plus, what's that word? Sum. So twice the sum of a number A and 4 minus 8 times a number N. That's how I translate that into English. Twice the sum of a number A and 4 minus 8 times the number N. Okay? Number 2. That's 2/3 of, remember you always say a fraction of for multiplication. 2/3 of a number B and, I'm sorry, not N, 2/3 of a number B plus 5 times what? You see a parentheses minus, don't you? 5 times the difference. Don't say 5 times the number Y. You got parentheses there, buddy. 5 times the difference of a number Y and 12. Don't say minus 12. It's redundant. 5 times the difference of a number Y and 12. So one more time. 2/3 of a number B plus 5 times the difference of a number Y and 12. Last one. All right. Now that slanted line is a fraction bar. It was just hard for me to do it in the document, so it's easier to do the slanted bar for division. But that's the same as your fraction bar, the horizontal one. Okay. So you read the top first, then go to the bottom. That's how you read it when it's a fraction, top down. Okay. So it's the sum of a number X and 3 times a number Y. The sum of a number X and 3 times a number Y divided by twice a number B, or 2 times a number B, whatever floats your boat. Okay? So after this video, you should be able to understand the basics of algebraic expressions, constant, variable, coefficient, the difference between a numerical expression and an algebraic expression. And then the core of what we learn is how to translate. Tell your parents now, I am bilingual. I can speak English and I can speak math. And if you all are bilingual already, let them know now I'm trilingual, okay? So you should be able to go from the words to the math algebraic expression and from the math to the English. May God bless each and every one of you with a powerful week. And I'm hoping to see you live via video for week 2, when we will continue our voyage through the fundamentals of algebra. Peace, Hotep, Assalamu alaikum. Have a blessed one. God be with you.